What's up, everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video party. I'm so excited to upload one for you guys because for this video, we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite crime thriller movies, and that would be Sicario. Now, if you've been a long-time subscriber, you may remember back in 2018, I actually did a review on the sequel, Sicario, Day of the Soldado. And while I thought that movie was pretty decent, nothing can touch this first film. So the movie came out in 2015, and the story follows an FBI agent played by Emily Blunt, who's been assigned to this task force led by the CIA in order to reduce cartel activity near the Arizona border. And what I love about this film is that on paper, you'd expect to see a lot of bullets, explosions, like your everyday action movie. Instead, this movie is a slow burn as you watch this FBI agent get exposed to the real cartel war, as she sees that most of her standard procedures are worthless when it comes to making a difference in reducing cartel activity. She also finds out that sometimes you need to get your hands dirty in order to clean up the mess. And this is where our CIA agent, played by Josh Brolin, comes into the story, as he is more than happy to get knee deep into the mud in order to complete his objective, which in this case is to get a high-profile drug dealer living in Arizona to get called back to Mexico, where he can meet up with the boss of a high-powerful drug cartel. Now, this is where our cartel expert, played by Benicio del Toro, enters the story, as he is the one member of the group who truly understands how this specific cartel functions and knows most of their secrets. There's a reason why he knows so much about this cartel, and it's later revealed at the end of the film, where our FBI agent finally learns the truth about this whole operation. But anyway, what also makes this film very interesting is that while we're watching our main characters try to complete their objective, there's also a small side story that plays parallel to that story and also gives the audience a break from our main characters. And while at first it does take you out of the film, but there's a reason why this small side story of a regular police officer is important, because this film decides to have its Tarantino moment when you see this small side story cross paths with our overall main story. As I mentioned earlier, this film is a bit of a slow burn, but the movie's overall main goal is to make you feel this sense of discomfort as you're watching our characters try to attract the attention of the cartel. To put in perspective, it's like you came across a rattlesnake on the road and you're trying to get it in a bag. Now, you can grab the snake by the tail, but there's a good chance that he's going to turn around and bite you. Or you can lure the snake into the bag by offering it some bait. Now, when you apply this concept to our main characters, like for starters, we'll take a look at our FBI agent, who's pretty much going after the cartel head on. And throughout the film, you see how some of her decisions lead to serious mistakes that almost get her killed. But throughout the movie, our CIA agent and our cartel expert find ways to lure their target into their trap, where they can get a distinct location of where the big cartel boss is located. And one of the craziest things that's mentioned near the end of the film is what the definition of order means to these people, and how sometimes you need unnecessary evil in order to get the job done and make the world a better place. That final conversation alone just makes you realize that there are people out there protecting our country, and in order to do that, they gotta do some of the most scariest things in order to make sure that everyone can live a happy life. So while this film is very dramatic, as the tone really digs deep on the themes of order and chaos, following procedures and cutting loose, there are still several action scenes. Now, even though there are a couple of action moments throughout the film, they're pretty quick, but in those moments, you find yourself holding your breath. Best example is this small moment that happens at the border. In that scene, you watch our characters escort their bait across the border and into the US. And in that moment, you feel a sense of claustrophobia as you see that they are locked in bumper to bumper traffic, where anyone can come in and kill them at any point. And the movie keeps this sense of danger throughout the film as you watch this FBI agent enter a lawless world, where even people who uphold the law work outside it in order to get results. So overall, I really love Sicario, and honestly, I'm a bit disappointed to see how the sequel turned out, as it mostly sacrificed its tone for a little more action. And while Sicario, Day of the Soldado tried to replicate the first movie by having a small side story intercept with our overall main story, it just didn't work. Maybe one of the reasons why the sequel didn't work was that the story was missing a character similar to our FBI agent, where while we have this group of characters who work outside the law, we need to have at least one member of that group who has a good moral compass so that audience can closely relate to that character. But anyway, if you're still hesitant about watching a slow crime thriller, you should know that the first two acts are meant to establish our characters and set up the stakes, while the third act is where things begin to ramp up. So overall, I really love Sicario, and if you ever get the chance, you should give this movie a shot. Well, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. That was my overall review for Sicario. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button so you can get the latest updates from this channel. I'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.